tokens. They're all earning Cure tokens. And the more valuable the content is on the platform, the more people will come and use the platform, the more value we can generate through advertising, through our launchpad and all these eventual products. So that's our combined goal, is to make sure that the best content comes onto the trending feed. Now, I've personally really enjoyed the content that's coming, whether it's, different news articles or really interesting reviews of projects or personal opinions. We had some discussions that have been started. I enjoyed a lot of it. I see myself on the platform a lot more than in the past. But we have been struggling a little bit with all of these. It's a lot more content now. And we've been struggling a little bit with tuning the algorithm for the trending to make sure that the best content comes on there. And of course, we will have these issues. The bigger we get, every time we increase in scale, we'll have to figure out new ways to make sure that the best content comes to the top. And every time we increase in scale, also, there's always going to be new attacks on the system, right? New people trying to game it. The more money can be made, the more it will be gamed. That's a general rule of all decentralized and crypto protocols. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Unless you guys have anything else to add to this, we can, jump into the first topic.
Growing pains.
Yeah. Growing pains, yes. Well, it's a nice thing. We shared a post earlier on Telegram, right? Where you could see our analytics really shooting up, and we're talking about from 400 views per day, shooting up to 2,000 views per day. So that's on average. Daily thing, right? So we said it's 100% increase, but that's looking over the whole month. If we're looking day to day compared to just a week before the campaign, it's we're talking about a 600% increase. And so it's not just more views; it's also the views themselves getting longer, because the average session duration went from somewhere just around 3 minutes, or maybe even under 3 minutes, to an average of 10 minutes per session. So that's per user.
It's great stats.
It's great stats, yeah. So I think overall things are going really, really well. Some of the issues. So I can show. I'm actually allowed to share now. This is the new feature of how we're doing things. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, let's do that. Show don't tell, right? That's the rule of the game. Let's see if this loads. Okay, let's dismiss some stuff here. Okay, well, this looked actually, for the whole day, we always had like 10, 15 simultaneous users. So this is the first time we went down to 1. But yeah, so this is just what we're looking here. Yeah, so this is the last month. And you can see here, if we're looking on views, as I said, we were at 200-300 kind of views per day on average a month ago. And now, since the campaign started, we're shooting up to 2,000 views per day. So that's starting to become very decent. We're promoting, and we're going to promote a lot over the coming weeks, many AMAs lined up. So I think we can expect this to go even a lot further over the coming months as the campaign does well. One thing that also seems to work well is just the referrals. We see just every day more and more people coming on the platform where we don't really even know where or how. So referral seems to be working quite well. So yeah, so here you can see the views shooting up quite heavily. You can see even already last week, just from the introduction of the new system and the first CoinWeb AMA and a couple other AMAs we had, where people came on board starting to share content. So things are really looking up a lot. We can here see the session duration going from, a month ago, just around 3 minutes per session, slowly then going up again as we made our changes up to 10 minutes, and now it's starting to pretty solidly be beyond 10 minutes. So it's really, I mean, it's amazing. These are really very good stats to have. If you compare that to regular websites, they usually have a few seconds average session duration. So this is really, really good. But let's say in the last few days, we did have some issues. So there was one post that I can't show it here now because now it's gone. But there was a post kind of stuck to the top for several days. And that was because there was a bug. So what happens if you see the upvotes here, you can click on the comments and you can see some people have a verified badge here. This is an analyst and curate. You can always click on the badge and then see what they have unlocked. So Jamie, who's actually on call here, is a moderator, an analyst, and a curator. Moderators have just been released this Monday in a test kind of environment, and we're going to start to invite some of our OG members on Monday, and then the coming days we're going to fill up these moderators. If you want to figure out how you can join any of these roles, just click on Learn More here, and then you can see here what the requirements are. We'll get back to the moderators a lot because this is how we want to prevent harmful content on the platform. But back to what I started here with. So this post was stuck at the top. There was 22 upvotes or something. And when you clicked on it, you see that there's quite a few unverified people who uploaded this. And we don't count unverified upvotes. They shouldn't have an influence on the posts going to the top, but there was a bug. So actually it did count the unverified posts as well. And the way this works is every post, basically it's almost like your latest feed over here. So if you see all posts, it'll just be sorted by the latest. But on the trending feed, whenever somebody upvotes, that upvote gave it Solana. That gave it a 6 hour boost. So it's almost like if you posted something here, you get an upvote. It's almost like your post has -6 hours, and then if you get another upvote, it's like -12 hours. So with 22 upvotes, that's it can stay up there for 2-3 days. So again, that bug was fixed. Now it doesn't count unverified uploads yet, but we do see things, and now here we're getting a little bit in this kind of harmful activity and field where, let's say, let me try to find something here. Yeah, CryptoPaw, and I'm not making any accusations here or anything. I'm just showing a little bit how the system works. Of course, we don't want people always uploading the same things. If we go here to actually to this is a random user here, and we can go to activity, and then we can see who this person has uploaded. So uploaded post by Padripto, Sexar, CryptoBits, and then again Padripto, Bitbeat, Padripto, Bitbeat. Oh, that's from. Okay, I don't want to make any conclusions here, but we see some people kind of often uploading the same people, and then those people uploading them back, which it can happen in the beginning when people get to know something, they get introduced to someone, and they first read their post, they upload, and so on. But it can then happen that people can kind of get to the top page by doing that. So they're uploading content that is more from their friends rather than uploading stuff because they think it's the best content on the platform.
Follow for follow.
Follow for follow, yeah, something like that. So you see that happen, of course, in all platforms, right? Also on Twitter, if you're an unknown person, what you need to do is first get all your friends and everything to like it, share it, upload, So it's a very common practice, of course, right? And then the other thing is, once it is here, then it gets the attention of more people. It's easier to get upvotes, and then it comes to the top. And that can lead to a situation where it's not always the best of the best content that is at the top here. So that's one issue. Of course, it becomes really, really harmful if somebody might create duplicate accounts and one person just creating their own accounts and uploading themselves and so on. And we of course want to avoid doing KYC with people to make sure that doesn't happen. So we have various other ways that are already implemented, and some of them are not yet implemented that we're thinking about. And even today we had an internal team discussion about some of the things we can do to improve this. So before I get into some of these things, I don't want this to be a massive monologue. Do you guys want to throw anything in here before we go a little bit into some of the solutions to this, the long-term solutions?
So I just realized something when you said about KYC, right? Is that there is actually a potential legal pitfall, right? Like if somebody put a post up and somebody, tries to sue them for slander or libel or something like that, they could do that with KYC, I'm guessing.
All right.
I never thought about it
up a notch, but yeah.
Yeah, and I never thought about it that way, but this kind of the point of why we don't KYC.
Well,
to
is it?
it?
Isn't it also just a huge no-no to KYC in crypto? Aren't we hoping to make to build these solutions without having to KYC? And there are many solutions. We discussed a little bit today that we are kind of a proof of stake system, right? And if we go back here to the roles, and you can see the moderator has to lock up 100,000 cure, and already today at TGE value, that's $3,000. If I'm just making wild statements here, but let's say we get to $1, then that's $100,000, and that's a little bit comparable to Ethereum costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, to put up a stake. Maybe I want to say a quick thing here. So all these guys, curator, analysts, and moderators, they have these higher stakes that they have to lock up. And even if people can kind of temporarily game the system a little bit, we do have this flagging system so that anyone can actually flag a post, can go on here and report this and say why, but you can actually also report the whole account. Here, report. And then you can say why, and you can say, hey, I think this guy is always uploading the same person, and they're uploading back, or they're abusing the system in some kind of way.
Oh, yellow card, red card.
Yeah, so yes, exactly. So you can suggest if it's a really bad issue or not. And then once you are moderator, these flags come in here, and then other moderators can vote on it. That they have to, only 3 people have to vote for this to then be dismissed. And if the post gets removed, then you'll see, okay, this was a suspended account. But
what did Mr. Johnny Allen do?
I don't remember, but it was very similar to this, like immutable. It was just shill post, So every time a post gets removed, it automatically takes down these reputation points. And this will come soon here that you see why your reputation points get removed, right? But long story short, if we go back to the fact that if you are staking, $100,000 worth of tokens, and you're a moderator and you start misbehaving, you can potentially lose $100,000, right? Do you really need KYC if you have that potential of financial loss? And with the analyst, if it's $1 per cure, then it's $20,000. Those are huge costs that people might incur.
Might just cash out.
Well, you can't. Well, that's the thing. You can't. That's why it's locked. So as long as you want to be an analyst or a curator, you need to have this locked, and you cannot withdraw this. As soon as you withdraw it, you're not you're not verified anymore. It's part of the requirement of being a curator. So as soon as you withdraw it, your upvotes won't matter anymore. Your posts will go into the unverified feed, you know, here where it's mixed with everyone, where you will not get attention. So, you know, while we might have some starting issues now as we're scaling the system, and we're still as we said, we just launched the moderator feature this week. Oh, sorry, one second, my kids are popping in here. One second.
Yeah, we're just launching the moderator feature. And so right now it's just the internal team. But we are getting ready to expand the role to other members of the community.
It will be our OG analysts, really. I mean, you know, 20, 25 people or so, because they have the available cure, they have the available experience to make the cut. And from there on, it becomes organic, where people, once they reach the level of experience, they can apply. And they need to have we say an excellent reputation score. We're still discussing a little bit how much that will be. Probably somewhere it has to be over 90 points or something. But then the existing moderators can then vote in new guys to become moderators.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah.
So I think it's a pretty solid system, and I mean, I don't know the technical details so much. AJ, you know, our co-founder and developer, lead developer, he said a lot of this is inspired by Stack Overflow and by Reddit, two platforms who have solved a lot of these things, and it's been going well for a while. So yeah, I mean, while abuse can happen for a little while, over time, these accounts will get banned.
So, what do you think about like personal attacks on people? I mean, we haven't really seen it yet. Like
we actually have seen this. We've had a case almost a year ago, or maybe a year ago, between some of our top analysts. You know, they both contributed very heavily to the platform, and they were just like getting annoyed at each other and then starting to make it personal. And so we've had this issue. It has come up, and a lot of these tools that we have now, they come after a year of experiencing these things, right? And we've so did you have a specific question about it before I go on?
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you do when it starts to happen? Like, it happens in the comments.
Yes.
And the post is good, right? So like, you can't, you know, you don't want to moderate the post, right?
Yeah.
But,
so then I would say it becomes an account level thing. So let's say if this person was doing the thing, you would go on here, report, you would explain what the issue is, you would put a link to that post, and then you would submit it. And depending on the severity of it, of course, then here you can say, I suggest a warn or ban, right? And then the other moderators will vote on it. And then, of course, if it's really bad, like let's say, and you know, if someone says really, really, really bad things, then we might just take internal action and just suspend the account immediately. But generally, you know, the moderators will make that decision, and then the team will just act on the decision and just impose the bans, basically. In that case, last year, you know, it was getting quite bad, but it wasn't you know, that it wasn't super bad. So we gave out the warning to one of the analysts. They issued an apology, and we kind of got over it, you know. And we told both analysts to just not talk to each other, you know, just leave it. Back then we had a follow feature, which I explained we can temporarily disable. That will come back in the future. And we asked those two guys to just unfollow each other. But yeah, it happens. I mean, it is a decentralized community, and people will disagree with each other over many things.
yeah,
I want to throw in here one thing I really like about Cyrator is that we only have upvotes and not downvotes. So it tends to foster this quite positive experience. positive environment. And that's all something, I mean, again, I keep have to mention that I have this extensive social media experience. And many of these videos we made in the past was from teenagers who really, really heavily got bullied online. And, it leads to things like suicide and self-harm and a lot of bad things. So, a lot, at least in my mind, and I know, in AJ's mind as well, creating a positive environment is quite important for us. So it's not the main thing. The main thing is to have trustworthy information on the platform, but we really want to foster a positive environment.
Yeah. So let's go back to the point about Sybil accounts.
Mm.
Like, do we have the capability to monitor the IP address or anything like that to see if somebody's multi-accounting?
Yeah, obviously we can do that. We're not doing that yet, although we do have some. We have banned people in the past with our old system already due to kind of seeing these people connected the same wallet address and like things like that, and there was other very, very suspicious behavior. But I want to bring it back to this new feature that we might have already launched or we might launch tomorrow, where we actually are going to give moderators a higher upvote ranking. So if if a curator upvotes a post, it will from now on, I think, give it a 4-hour boost. But if a moderator gives it an upvote, then it will give it an 8-hour boost. And that's just the first step, I think, in that direction. We're like discussing ideas, and here, we can open a mic and we can listen to the community if you guys have ideas as well. But one of the ideas is that that curators will actually get points. They will, of course, continue to get their curator points for voting, but they will actually get their bonuses if they upvote content that moderators will upvote later as well. And that's something that's quite hard to fake. So one thing is you can multi-account to become a curator because we don't require KYC and all these kind of things. But it will be very, very hard to become a moderator with multi-accounts because you end up you have to build up an extensive history of upvoting and you have to be an analyst as well, so you have to show how you write, and in most cases you will, and we might even require that you show up to some AMAs, that show your face, and we're not entirely sure about that, but it will be as close as you can get to KYC, kind of without KYC. If you see that someone has written 30 reviews or something, you get a good idea of their personality. Did they only use ChatGPT to just create stuff, or did they start giving their own opinions and really drive value for the platform? And if you do that, it's hard to do that across various accounts. You do need to write your bio, and that's actually a lot of these new accounts. They have not written anything in their bio yet, and actually even part of our mega quest now, Crypto Hero, to claim your prizes, you will need to fill out your bio, and we said you need to connect your Twitter and Telegram. So that gives us some idea of who you are. So while you can game the system more easily as a curator, it gets progressively harder if you become an analyst and you get a moderator. And that's why we're thinking about expanding these powers of the moderators ultimately, that they kind of are able to make a choice. Is this good content or not? Have you been gaming the system? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think it would be very hard to double a moderator account. I mean, that's very rare.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I want to say here a little bit, having two accounts might not even be illegal on our platform. It's okay if some people have maybe a more, and you can have 2 accounts on Twitter too. Where you might want to have a very formal account where you write formal reviews. It's almost kind of like your job, right?
Fun mode.
And you want to have a fun mode, yeah, right, where you want to be maybe more anonymous and stuff like that, and want to talk about memes or so on, right? It's Curator is not about these rules. Curator, we want to design the rules so we make people create quality content, but just creating several accounts to upload yourself back and forth, that doesn't create value for the system. So that destroys value, and we'll try to do what we can to stop that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What other? I mean, we went through quite a bit. I see the time went by pretty quickly on this. So
Yeah, I was curious if Amir wanted to say anything because he joined us earlier today. Just want to hand him the mic if that's possible.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah. Best I could do is make people co-hosts, I think, and the 2 slots I gave one to Amir. Did you pick it up, Amir?
all right, I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I can't tell because it doesn't tell me the slots are taken, but
maybe it just doesn't want to.
yeah, inviting speakers with the mic doesn't work.
Maybe Sexar would be great. I mean, I had a great call with Sexar, I think last week or so. He's become one of our biggest contributors. So it would be lovely to hear his thoughts as well on some of these things.
Everybody that's on Spaces has been invited to speak. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess it's technical.
Let me invite Sexar as a co-host. I don't know if there's still a spot open. Quinn was able to pick it up. So let's see what happens.
Maybe I'll stop sharing my screen here. All right. I think it's not, if it happens that he still speaks, then good. But other than that, let's see if there's anything else to say. We did say we want to actually shorten these a little bit, so it's not always full 1-hour talks unless we really have a lot to speak about. We're still experimenting a lot with this format and what does well on YouTube and Twitter and how we can expand. And sometimes we just want to have a space to discuss the most pressing issues on the platform. But doing our sessions, having everyone involved, is quite a lot. So until we get more, scale on these, we might just keep it to half an hour for now. So let's see if anyone has something else, a really important point to make about all this. Otherwise, we can also end the call at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Anything, Dan?
No, I'm good. You guys covering all the ground. I can't think anything else to add.
All right. Well, then maybe let's find something to end it with. Maybe we can all quickly say a little bit. So yeah, I personally really like the content that's coming on the platform. I enjoy all different aspects of it. Personally, I quite like the news part that is coming. People sharing different news that is important to them, and I feel like I get quite bullish on crypto because of it, because you see all this adoption happening. Or this company, that big company adopts crypto. There's this new regulation coming that's very forthcoming, and just all over the world stuff is happening, right? Whereas when you Some of the other news sources I follow, especially when it's like influencer driven, it's very sensationalist, I would say. And, they have all these, inflows today. Trading noise is going to go away. Not away, of course, but it's going to, I see it, if you see my hands, right, there's like a curve, this adoption curve going up, which will have an effect on price at some point, right? And there's this like trading noise above that makes you feel it goes up or down. But once this meets up here, I think there's going to be a big push up. Because then the noise doesn't make any sense anymore. Then the noise has to happen on a higher level overall. That's what I feel the effect of adoption will be. A little bit similar to Solana, right? Where there was just a lot of activity, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of partnership connections. And at some point that just boom, leads to a jump. So that part I enjoy a lot, and I just read every day. Initially, I only read the trending. And now I also just go to the latest all the time to just see everything that's there. But of course, in between, we start to have a lot of OGs coming back, right? Ilya is coming back to post, and other guys as well. Amir, who's on here as well. And we get these great stories that are interesting to give you, background of other people in crypto. And some really cool projects, some good reviews that are out there. So yeah, I'm really enjoying, and I think adding this administrator role, the moderator role, and more moderators, will help us to sort that content more effectively on the trending feed as well. I think that's the most important thing that I want to say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I just want to say that I hate reporting posts. Like I just feel like with given good faith, and people try to put up content, I just want to support it, and then there are times where you do have to like flag a post or something. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say.
Actually, I would like to tag something along to that. So we have a lot of discussions on how to report, what to report, and so on. And kind of everyone listening, and then also people listening in the future. I don't want you to get discouraged just because a post gets reported. One of the lessons we've learned from Stack Overflow and so on is that if you have a lot of content, there needs to be a lot of reporting, even for small things. If someone forgets to put a source, boom, report, right? And there is no capacity to explain to everyone why it got removed, even though we will have an infrastructure like that, that I believe will be better than YouTube and other platforms, right? For now, it is important that we are quite strict, where it says, this post has some kind of issue, report. So we make sure that doesn't inspire other people to make the same mistakes. But that's why there is a reputation system. It's okay to lose some reputation points here on there. We will add this reporting feature where you see why. And then your reputation points will regenerate over time if you don't keep losing them. So I agree. I also hate to report because people put in, right? And sometimes it might seem unfair. But yeah, don't get discouraged just because of that. Sometimes your post might get reported and removed for some reason. Sometimes you might report the post from someone else, and that's part of keeping the platform healthy.
Yep, I think that's very well said.
All right. Dan, do you have any final words you want to say as well?
Just in case anybody was here for something other than that, Simon's Cat's launching. I don't know. Mark seems like he's talking, or I'm delayed. I don't know. But Simon's Cat's launching tonight, 1400 UTC. The pre-sale was a disaster, but this is still a $1 billion token. So
Well,
if you get it 100 million or under, you're going to be loving it.
I followed you on that, and I mean, I was excited to probably get some myself until I saw it, that's not good anymore. And like, nah. But apparently, there's quite a lot of ways you can get an airdrop, right? If you like hold flow.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of ways, and I will post a follow up to my follow up. Because the last attempt was botted and DDoS attacked at the same time, apparently. They just took and airdropped $55 worth to everybody that would have been in it. So I think Flocky in the end didn't quite fill that food bowl up in the meme that I put out there, but at least you got something. If that 10X's, that's $500. I'm not going to poo-poo that. So
there was one more thing I just wanted to say about that, but yeah, I'm still on a jet lag, so I might. One thing I wanted to add was that for everyone listening here who's writing, if you write about a project, it would be great if you can select the project and don't do it as a blog post. Because the great thing, Dan just said he had a follow-up of a follow-up of a follow-up. And the great thing is you can now go and click on Simon's Cat, and then you see all of these posts there, which can have quite lasting effect. It's great to look at this back in a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months from now, and see this kind of report of what has happened with this project. And if you don't select the project, your post, your review will not show up in there, and it kind of gets lost. So if you're talking about a project, please select that. That would be very helpful. And that's kind of something you can get flagged for if you don't, and then the post gets removed, because we want to teach people to do that over time.
I would also wanted to comment about that earlier too. The search is only searching projects. So if you do come to the site to search for something that somebody just wrote an unlinked, not everything has a project related to it. So I think our site search needs some improvement. Basically.
Yeah, I agree. I think searching for general stuff is good, and also searching for user would be great. I think that's already on our list, but the list of to-do is quite extensive right now. So, and we're really prioritizing, the release of the roles and the curation of the content and so forth. So that might take some time. But on that topic, I just checked today again our search stats, and a lot of content is getting search traffic right from Google search, and it's showing up there. So Cyrator itself is not the only way that you can get traffic to your posts. All right.
Yep.
Well, unless anyone still wants to butt in at the last minute and say something, I think we can leave it at that and call it. As Jamie said, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments, either if you're on Twitter Spaces there, or head over to YouTube and leave your comments on there, and we'll answer them later. Thank you so much for listening, coming in, and for all your great posts. And then see you next week.
Yes, great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the first week of the Crypto Hero Mega Quest results will be in by the time that we see each other next time. So looking forward to that.
Exactly. Super excited.
Great.
Okay, guys.
All right. Killing Spaces now. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.